So Bitcoin is trading back above 23K as predicted. And in this video, I just want to give a quick update of what has happened, because now on the daily time frame, we have also had some potentially more bullish developments. So let's dive straight into that. By the way, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Click that subscribe button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't yet subscribed. And if you want to get on my email list, it's the first link in the description down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join our free public Telegram. The links are in the description down below. All right, so Bitcoin, as you can see, is trading at $23,500. 2 days ago at the beginning of this week, I made a quick update where I said it was likely we are going to take out the highs at 23K. Let me play that for you real quick as a recap. We are now at this point where we're testing the upside of the range, but we have flipped the 200 moving average. So I do think there's a possibility that we start to take out these highs at 22,400, then about 23,000. If we can get above there, I think the target here of this move is potentially the golden pocket around 26 to 27,000. All right, so you can go and check that video out if you want. I will link to it up here on YouTube and in the description down below if you haven't seen it yet. But basically, that was what was happening. It was just trading at about 21,700 2 days ago when I made that video. And that is exactly what happened. You can see now we're at 23,500. So we have, this is a daily chart over here. So we have indeed taken out that high at 22,400. We took out the highs at 23,000. Now, what is really interesting to note is that, as you can see, we have, as always, the 50 and the 200 simple moving averages. 50 is in blue, the 200 is in red. And I like to use these as guidance for larger term trends. It works on all time frames basically, but on the daily chart, it is obviously more significant because you can see we have been below the 50-day moving average basically since the beginning of April. So this is the first time now that we basically yesterday had a daily close just slightly above that 50-day moving average. Now keep in mind, there can be fake outs, right? It does happen like here. Sometimes it went above it for a few days and then it dropped back down below. So it isn't an absolute be-all, end-all signal that right now we are in a bullish trend and we're just going to continue going up. But it is a bullish indication that you can use in confluence with other analysis, other indicators, other methods to help you determine whether we are in bullish or bearish territory. And right now, getting a close back above that 50-day moving average and being back above this $23,000 level does look promising. Now, what you can see also here is that we had this big drop back in June when we dropped from just about 26,500 all the way down to 23K in like a single day. That was when the bad news was coming out with the 3A seed, with the liquidations, all that kind of stuff. So you can see basically this whole thing is also a bit of an imbalance where it just dropped so fast. And more likely than not, often what tends to happen is those imbalances tend to get filled. Also, we have over here a bit of an imbalance on the 4 hourly. Plus, we have this golden pocket, the fib retracement from the top of this move to the bottom of this move, which tends to be a target. So we are going to see, I think there's not a lot of resistance left between 23K and this 26.5. So I do think actually we could end up seeing this $26,500 level pretty quickly, perhaps in a matter of days, but maybe a couple of weeks. There's a lot of people on my Twitter feed, on my social media, that I still see that are being incredibly bearish right now, even in the face of this stronger pump. So I actually posted this on Twitter. Again, the link is in the description down below if you want to follow me on Twitter. But I posted this like 2 days ago. I said I'm seeing a lot of people on my feed stuck in a bear-only mode, shorting this pump. This time feels different. Also, we flipped the 200 MA 4 hour, which I shared with you in the video on Monday. Good recipe for further upside. Bears in disbelief. And like I said, usually when everyone is overly bearish, it's usually a good idea to long, which was basically the case over here. But you can see over here big accounts, and these are good traders that I follow. They've usually been right in the big idea of things, but I'm just seeing this where everyone is really overly bearish still. So Big Cheds says he's still not convinced. Then we have Il Capo of Crypto, who's been incredibly bearish the whole way down. Obviously he's been right, but again, at some point you have to admit that the trend is going to change, or that we're at least going to get a counter trend rally within that overall trend. So you can see I've been wrong, not expecting such a bounce, still not convinced, bearish scenario still in play. Then we got XO, Trader XO, also really good calls throughout the bear market. He's been shorting the rallies a lot of the time, but you can see everyone is just still really bearish. And that combined with what the charts are telling us right now, we're above the 50-day, we're above 23K. There's not much resistance here. So I would say we're going to target this 26 to 27,000. I think there's a decent chance that we're going to hit that. And then we have to see what happens at that point. Do we get rejected and do we come back down again? Or can we break through? Because there's no guarantee it has to stop at this level if it hits it. Can we break through and can we see maybe around the $30,000 level? Now, obviously, I do think that this is going to be a rally where we are going to see a pullback. I've talked about this for the last couple of weeks. I do think it's possible that we see a multi-week rally, maybe into early or mid-September. And I do think there is still potential for a retest of these lows. Okay, I'm not convinced that this was the final low or that we don't get a retest and we only go up from here. I think we could get a nice bear market rally, trap people, right? Anyone who's short, like all these people I'm just showing you, lots of people are still trying to short this. So we get this big squeeze, liquidate all the people who are trying to short. And then eventually, when it gets to 27, 28,000, maybe 30,000, people really start to think, oh, the bottom is in and it's going back to the all-time high. And at that point, when the people start to FOMO in and start to massively long at the top of the bear market rally, that is usually the point where we get a complete reversal and we get this quick, sharp drop. And I am expecting that potentially sometime late September, maybe early October, where we could still see a retest of these $17,000 lows, or maybe even below that, in some sort of brief panic in the markets. I don't know what the cause is going to be. We'll end up seeing that later on. But, you know, something similar to maybe March 2020, where within the period of 4 weeks, we had this massive 50% drop and a complete recovery, and then a continuation to the massive 2020 and 2021 bull run that we know was so very potentially profitable for anyone who got involved. So I am cautious of a scenario like that. But for now, I do think we head higher and then start being cautious, start looking at the charts, what happens around 26, 27,000 and maybe even as much as 30. Start looking for signs of exhaustion, signs of failure, and also keep an eye on the sentiment on the timeline when everyone starts flipping bullish. All these people that are now still bearish in the face of this bullishness, once they all start turning bullish at the tops of rallies, that's when you got to start being cautious. And just another thing which adds confluence to this bullish overall sentiment is the fact that the stock markets actually look kind of bullish too. We have the S&P 500, and you can see here also for the first time since April, the SPX has now closed above the 50-day moving average for the first time since April. And again, it could be a fake out. You can see over here, even it pumped above it and then pulled back down and continued the decline. That is obviously still a possibility. But now, as long as we're above the 50-day moving average, that starts to look promising for the stock markets too. And if we get an overall rally in the stock markets, right, that risk on environment, that's going to be good for crypto too. And those two tend to follow each other. It's very correlated. But bullish stock market is going to be good for crypto too, which means we could see an extended relief rally in both crypto and in stocks for the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, if the stock market starts to roll over again and we start to get below this 50-day moving average again, or potentially below, say the low here below 3,800, then things start to look sketchy again, and that could be bad for crypto too. But until then, this does look potentially promising. So if you like this video, please do click the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Click that notification bell. Be sure to get on my email list too. It's the first link in the description. Click that link, go and enter your name and email. You get my free crypto masterclass as a bonus, but you also get on my email list so I can send you an update every time I upload a video or when there's something important. You can see I share these in real time pretty regularly, and obviously I'm not always right, but a lot of the time my predictions and my estimates do end up coming pretty close or pretty accurate to what has just played out. As you've seen, I shared that on Monday, and I said we're going to take out the 23K highs. We have already done that. So if you want to get my updates, click that link below, enter your name and email, get on my email list, and of course subscribe to the channel too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.